Okay, I clicked it. The time is 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, August 19th. And you are watching the most radical stream on the internet. Sound off in the chat. We got a few people from earlier. Let's see. We had Vikram says it doesn't believe me. Doesn't believe that it's happening. Well, guess what, Vikram? Seeing is believing, and we are live. I got a notification there was going to be a stream at 6 a.m. 2 days ago. How many people got this notification? I did not mean to. I just opened up like a StreamYard lobby. I didn't know that was like going to notify people, but I guess it did. That was when I like opened up the StreamYard for this stream. I didn't know it would show up until I actually scheduled it, but I guess it did. Nuxus says, hi, Ryan and Umbreon. I hope you have a great stream tonight. And Nuxus is here right now saying hi. Good to see you. Umbreon is munching on some food right now, but he's here as well. Duck says bell icon, which is so true. So true. Tap that bell icon. And then I communicated to Vikram that I didn't know it was public. I was booming out with StreamYard. But good to see you. Good to see you, Nuxus. Good to see you, everyone who left chats earlier. Anyone comes in, sound off in the chat as you come in. And make sure you click the like button. I have not streamed in a little while, huh? I figured I'd just go live and chat with you guys and talk about ambiguity. That's the topic of the stream tonight. Probably won't be a super long stream. You were on fire last night. I had a good time. It's interesting. I feel like I get a there's something nice about being able to charge, I guess, in between the 30 to 40 minute mutes that I get on every fucking panel I go on. It is bittersweet. The frustration, I get to channel that frustration whenever I get back on, right? But yeah, I was cooking. I think I was cooking. What were we even fighting about last night? Oh, was it the Christian nationalism one? Yeah, I was cooking. Yeah. That was bloody bullying. It always is. It's all right. I don't mind it. I like that it brings Sarah a lot of, it makes me feel valuable, like going into Sarah's stream and like having people donate like such huge amounts of money to kick me off, and all I'm doing is like chilling there and screeching for like 10 minutes, if that, or like 5 minutes in between. Every few minutes I get to kind of chime in. Every 30 minutes I get to chime in for a few minutes. But it's fun. How are we doing, everybody? How are you, Nuxus? What's up, Steel Man? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Only Mr. Bill says, cheaper to just put you on mute when I see your lips move. Well, guess what, Mr. Bill? You can't do that here. Well, I mean you can click the mute button, but you cannot silence me with your money here. Not directly. We can talk about it if you want to donate some money, and we can maybe find some compromise where I don't know. I might take some. I might open up the panel in a little bit. I think I'm gonna do a little open panel thing tonight. Not for super long. Again, I don't want to stream all night or anything. I'm trying to start the consistency. That's the thing. I gotta really work on with the stream. You actually make a great point. I am fantastic. Good to hear. Yeah, as it turns out, I make a lot of great points. A lot of people are saying this. James Dumas says, I may be a fish out of water over here being conservative, but I give you respect for being in the arena, battling for your worldview. You would be surprised. I my channel has really always fostered a large following of conservatives who fight with me, but are endeared by my earnest exuberance and commitment to my commitment to my values, I think, and my worldview. Like, I may not like what Ryan says, but I like that he's saying it, kind of thing, and I respect that. I like people like getting out of the kind of circle jerk echo chambers. I think it's valuable. That's why I'm always in those spheres. I like my ideas being challenged. It's a good time. Likewise. Good to see you, Rude Crab. Quite an ambiguous title. Well, indeed. It's part of the fun, right? Provo, we got celebrity. We got Provo in the building. Says, you're not James, conservative here. That's true. Provo is, in fact, a conservative, and we don't hold that against him. Funny thing is, Ryan, the Christian in the Roman arena surrounded by lions. Yes, that is a good analogy, Mr. Bill. It's true. Mr. Bill, you are always throwing pot shots at me, but it's good to have you here. I don't mind. For exactly this reason. I am very often this. I like that. Ambiguity. What do you guys think about ambiguity? I think I like it, but I'm not sure. In fun. Provo is funny, so I accept him in spite of his conservative nonsense. Yeah. Provo's a cool dude. We had a long conversation years ago, me and Provo, about anarchy. It's a nice chat. I like Provo a lot. We've I mean, Provo and I, we actually met through the Thorpes, believe it or not. That's one of the good things to come out of that sphere, is my friendship with Provo. Yeah, we appreciate Crab here, even though Crab and I almost all my viewers, I have like a rocky start with to some degree or another. House of hate to admit this, but without you, Ryan, panels would be a bunch. Oh, hate to admit this, but without you, Ryan, panels would be a bunch of circle jerks and echo chambers. And I think the best entertainment is the exchange of different ideas and views. James, I totally agree. I think I bring it is frustrating. Like when I do get again, I don't really mind getting like, it feels good to be bringing in like income for the panel hosts. Like obviously it speaks that I'm doing something. Like some people are getting silenced on panels for just being like completely insufferable and annoying. I think sometimes that's the where people are coming from with me, but I think oftentimes it's just I'm saying shit that they really just don't want to hear, and someone's got to be the foil. Yes, Provo is a king. The common denominator, yeah, for sure. I grow on people. What can I say? There's a long history of this. You should get a cut with how much money you make, Sarah, low key. Yes, I agree, Sarah. If you're watching this, Sarah and I have a good working relationship. I'm sure there will be more ways that I will make funding through her in the future. Yes, we're happy to have our conservative audience. Like I've always said, I really think I would just prefer, like, if conservatives are going to be watching streamers, like, why not watch a progressive? I like it. I feel like I don't know how many progressives you conservatives are watching. Do you guys watch other progressives? Like, if you're conservative in the chat, like, what other progressives do you watch? Maybe like a Destiny. I know a lot of people, but a lot of people can't stand Destiny. I've got my own issues. I don't watch them as much anymore. I always look for Ryan to join the overly conservative panels. Thank you, guys. Nah, F Sarah. Nah. Look, Sarah. Like, I have my criticisms of Sarah, and I communicate them, sometimes to my own detriment. But no, Sarah is a good friend of mine. I value her. I value what she does. I think she has good intentions. I think sometimes I feel sometimes she maybe underestimates the uh just how like radical some of the stuff that she's like leaned into is. But I mean, again, it's why it's valuable for progressives to be there pushing back against a lot of it. I mean, I hate to admit it, radical coders, you are needed for the panels. Needed. James says there's a need for radical coders on the panels. So true, James. Well said. Rude Crab says, okay, Ryan, so I'm very curious. What are your thoughts on the Ninetales versus Sarah legal beat? Legal. I did not know there was legal BS. I did not know there was legal. I like Ninetales. I like Melanie. Personally. I didn't watch the full episode of Sarah's show that Ninetales ended up like getting banned at the end of. So I don't have like a strong formed opinion on that situation. But I do think generally Melanie got kind of the short end of the stick in many ways on those panels. Maybe start by not calling your boss a racist. Well, Sarah is not my boss, to be clear. Sarah is not my boss. We have a growing working relationship, but it doesn't make her my boss. Okay, we are peers in the sphere. And I didn't call her a racist. I said Sarah being low-key. Well, I didn't say being, but I said Sarah low-key racist. And it was in response to her making a low-key racist comment, which I communicated very clearly how I felt about it. Yes, I do. You do watch other progressive streamers? Like who? Tell me. The coolest thing about whenever there's an exchange depends what side you're looking at. One side views the other as the villain and the other one's the hero. That's true. It's true. Of course, I am the true hero of the story, the main character. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yes, good boy. And I know I'm the hero because I mean I have an Umbreon. Look at this guy. This is not a villain's dog, okay? Villains have like really fluffy cats. They pet like mischievously or whatever. I watch Wick and Prime just to watch multiple perspectives. Good. Wick is cool. I like Wick a lot. I like Prime as well. I really like Prime actually. I haven't gone on one of his panels, and I don't know if I've ever actually been on a Prime panel. I've been invited before, and I think Prime probably still knows who I am. I know he did at one point. I should connect with him and try to show up on some of those more. I don't know. I need to kind of poke into the more progressive liberal panel sphere. I think that's where a lot of my future audience is kind of waiting unwittingly for my presence. But I have less interest in punching left personally. But I do think there's conversations there worth having. You're the only progressive person besides Sam Cedar and the Majority Report. Well, Sam Cedar's a good choice. Good choice. We love Sam Cedar most of the time. You know, I used to watch the Majority Report back when Michael. Oh my God, Michael. Wow, it's been so long. I feel so bad. I'm forgetting his name. But rest in peace, Michael. Wow. Just woke up from a nap, so I blame that. But yeah, I always thought they were. I like their stuff. Their coverage of like the Dave Rubin and all that like that kind of content. It was good, but like a little too. It almost was like a little circle jerky in a way. It's like, yeah, we like everyone watching Sam Cedar right now, like everyone watching you guys. We know that Dave Rubin's a grifter. We know like, we get it. And it was just I don't know. I like conflict. I think I like a little bit of pushback. from either side. I was a Destiny viewer for a long time, but as I grow, I prefer to rationalize my way into morality and not out of it. Interesting take. Interesting take. Yeah, I was also a Destiny viewer for many years. And I'm still an occasional Destiny viewer. I have my feelings on him have evolved drastically over the years. Not limiting my own interactions, where where I became this racist math guy after one conversation. What? Yeah, I'm probably one of the most viewed videos on Destiny's channel that isn't like with a big name is the math is racist, with over 500,000 views, and it's just me and him arguing about math, and me allegedly saying that black kids need to be treated some sort of way, which is not my take, by the way. I watch any talking. I want to know how people think. I like that. Yeah, me too. I like those back and forths. Yeah. How many people have banned Steelman from their panels? I don't know. I don't know. Wow, I'm way behind in chat. That's cool. I like that. Keep. I'll get to your chats. Okay. Keep chatting. I'll get to you. You need to get yourself out there more, Coder, and build yourself up. Then I want you to face my champion again, Andrew the Goat Wilson. I mean, I could just message Andrew and schedule a debate if you want. I've debated with Andrew many times. We go way back. Andrew and I used to fight on like in 2021, back when he was on Politically Provoked, and he was their main like right wing debater. We would fight on there pretty regularly, and I've been on his shows multiple times. We did Modern Day Debate quite a few times. I actually teamed up with Lav Loon, the infamous Lav, Femoid, acquaintance of the channel. I teamed up with Lav against Andrew Wilson and Rachel back in the day. That was one of my first Modern Day Debates, I believe. Or one of my early, not one of my first Modern Day Debates, but one of my earlier ones for sure. You're the only lefty other than maybe Anna Kasparian that I could stand. That's fascinating. I don't love Anna's current arc, so that's a curious pairing there. Take that back. I might watch classical liberals like Bill Maher or someone you think would be right, but once was left like Dave Rubin. Okay, yeah. Dave Rubin's definitely not on the left by any means. Yeah, Bill Maher is on the left, but like barely. He's like just slightly left leaning. Melis threatened to sue Sarah for slander. Okay, well, I mean, I'm interested to see the case. You know, James, try be less condescending or dead in the eyes. I'm going to block you. FYI. All right, Duck. I love Duck, but I don't know what you. I mean, look. You're welcome to block whoever you want. You don't have to read anybody's messages, right? Snurf. Kitty. Oh, that dang Kitty. That's the. She does a good breakdown of conversations. Yeah, I like the model of her channel. I don't watch a lot of it, but I like what she does. I like the whole concept behind her channel is very interesting to me. Yeah, I think Duck was talking to you. I don't know why. I don't know what you said. I don't know what he means exactly, but I think it's a vibe. Maybe a vibe he's just getting from you. You just give off bad vibes, James. What, Umbreon? What? He says, I hate it when you're streaming. I hate it when you're not paying attention to me. I'm Umbreon. Make sure you like and subscribe to the stream so that this guy can get more attention from all of you, and hopefully eventually we can start making some real moves on the channel. You know, there's I want to figure out how to monetize myself a little bit more for myself, you know, not just for all the other panel hosts who are collecting their tithings from the abuse that I get from chats. I need to figure out a way to kind of channel that into my own, like maybe silence myself on my own stream. I don't know. I've preferred takes in the military. I don't know what takes you're referring to, but I mean, I'm sure he's critical of the U.S. military. I'm not being condescending. I'm actually giving compliments to Radical Coder, but the whole dead in the eyes thing, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. I think you've been pretty polite here. Umbreon. You replace Corey on. I like Corey. I don't. I like Corey. Michael Brooks. Yes, Michael Brooks. Yeah, I apologize. I feel. Yeah, I like Michael Brooks a lot. What? Again, I think some of the content, it just wasn't my vibe. You know, like I like the just raw aggressive mocking. Like I like it a little bit, but I need more substance to it. And Michael Brooks, you know, to his credit, like when he covered like politics in general, I think he was very, very in depth. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. I'm gonna let him go run around with the cats. You wanna go play out there and play? Instead of being annoying? Go ahead. Really, I don't give a toss which political aisle you're on. Fair enough. I encourage people to be on the correct side, which is the left, of course. You're a good debater, but you'd be great if you could maintain calm. I get that. Sometimes I think it's sometimes I think it's worth letting the emotions. I kind of I let it flow. You know, I like feeling my emotions, and I think that also brings me my own value, like being able to channel those. Sometimes I could probably control them a little bit more, and I agree, be more effective with it. But there's something nice about it. Has Duck blocked me? I don't know, Duck. Have you blocked only Mr. Bill? Ambiguity, exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get into that in a minute. Yes, he is a cute dog. He's a cute dog. He's a crybaby sometimes, but he's a good dog. Love the Embryon cameo. Always dual stream it. I don't remember which one's the response to this, but like dual stream the panels. Yeah, always an Embryon cameo. Don't forget to hit the thumbs down button, says only Mr. Bill, which unfortunately still helps Ryan. This is true. It does still help me. I don't know if Duck blocked me or not. I don't personally care. I'm going to sleep just as peaceful whether I'm blocked or not. I love that for you, James. Yeah, don't worry about it. The greatest streamer back. That's right, John Smith. That is right. The greatest streamer making his return. I got this. This is the biggest thing for me is just being consistent about, which is why I'm not going to go for super long tonight. I don't want to burn out. I just want to, I'm just trying to schedule a stream, go live, talk to my chat, maybe vibe code a little bit, and chill, and then just repeat. That's the thing. That consistency, I think, will be huge for the channel. I think that's my biggest flaw. Like for a while, I was clipping up all like content from all the panels I was going on, and I got kind of burned out doing just that. But eventually, you know, if I do get the channel to start growing enough, then eventually I'll be able to kind of like just throw some money at somebody to chop up like those panels and everything, so I don't have to worry about it. I gave a thumbs up already because I thought that dog was cute, and I want to help people like Radical Coder. We love that here, James. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. It's very easy to do. We love Dog Man's best friend. Yes. Umbro Camion. Same difference. We love it. Umbrio. What's up? Whoa. Sorry, I could just hear myself. Great to have you here, Allie and Michelle. Nuxus says, yeah, I would like to switch chats. Some give me the shits and I give up modding chats. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll try to dual stream more. One of my issues with dual streaming like recent panels has been that I get to spend so little time actually on the panel. That's like, why would I be restreaming when I'm not even on there for most of the time? I guess I could be hosting a separate chat where I can kind of talk to my people and and give my perspective on what's happening, or I could use Streamlabs and Streamlabs and actually like have conversations with my chat while I'm in the back lobby. That's probably the best way to approach it. Kind of, but I don't want to rob viewers from. I mean, I guess I right now I'm not pulling a ton from Sarah's channel and stuff, but I don't want to do that too much on like smaller channels. Me and Code are great friends. We DM all the time. I live near his family. I don't know that you live near my family, but yeah, John Smith does message me. We talk a little bit. John Smith asked me once, when you first DM'd me, do you remember this, John Smith? One of the first times you DM'd me, you were asking me about how much it would be to ship certain boxes with FedEx or something. And I was like, I don't know. Google it, dude. But it was such a weird, endearing conversation, John Smith. You always send me the most bizarre things, and I like hearing from you. I like your advice, even if I don't always take it. John Smith is always encouraging me to read more books, which is good advice. I do have a lot of books back there. I've most of them are not. Most of them are like just old books I have from like when I was a teenager. A lot of them are like teen fiction stuff, like all the Hunger Games books, all the Harry Potter books, all the Pendragon books. Any Pendragon fans? Any Pendragon fans in the chat? Yeah, we love Michelle here. We love Allie as well. Great to have you, Allie. That new background is fucking sick. This one? This background? It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress for sure. Also, keep up going on different panels, but keep challenging people like Rob and especially Andrew, who has a much bigger audience, to see if you can win some more audience over. Yeah, absolutely, James. I think that's good advice. Yeah, Rob and I have a good, seems to be a good amicable antagonistic relationship. Andrew as well. You know, I was featured on, I got to be featured on Andrew's like 200K subscriber special on Sarah's channel, partially because of my relationship with Sarah, but also my longstanding relationship with Andrew as well. And yeah, I seem to have, despite my antagonism with Rob, like we seem to be amicable. I don't know. Like I said, I grow on people. I'm just a likable guy. What can I say? Who gives? You need more the views more than the yeah. No, you're right. You know, I guess I was thinking about it like in terms not so much Sarah, because like she gets plenty of viewers, especially now. Like Sarah's channel is doing fantastic, and I'm super excited about that, by the way. But yeah, I was thinking more in terms of like smaller channels. Like when I go on like Jess White's channel, they probably don't mind me like restreaming, but I mean it's a they don't get like a ton of viewers, you know. I don't want to like cut. I don't know if I want to split that difference, but yeah, I need the views. I need the views. How could I forget? Yeah, good memories. Thank you again, John Smith, for always encouraging me to read. You know, I have a hard time as a classic ADHD patient, like sitting down and like reading like a single book. But something I've been doing recently, and it's just a fun little piece of advice I especially with the recent improvements to ChatGPT. What I've been doing is I've been asking ChatGPT 5 for a word for word, like or to write word for word the text of some book in the public domain, like Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorites to do this with. And what I'll do is I'll say, okay, write word for word chapter 1 of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, but splice it with annotations that are like hyper personalized, like Ryan Core. That's kind of how I describe my tone with ChatGPT, like Ryan Core reflections all throughout. So it'll read me a passage. It writes the full chapter because it's the hallucinations are relatively down. So it still misses a lot of stuff, but it'll write like word for word segments from the book and then just provide the like my reflections on it, and I'll try to like personalize them based on whatever I've been thinking about recently. It's just a fun way to explore like some old text. I haven't tried this with like copyrighted works. I don't know how it will work with ChatGPT 5. I don't know how resistant it will be if I like throw a PDF in there, if I can get it to like cite it word for word, but I'm going to try that soon. Next book on the chopping block, On the Jewish Question by Karl Marx. Who put that in the suggestions bucket? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is that a book by Karl Marx? I know he wrote about that. I know he wrote some things about that. So I said he should do more debating, especially with someone like Andrew. Where his clips could go viral because he's well known in the space. Yeah, I should clip up more of my old back and forth with Andrew. You should watch. There's actually a short on my channel, where me and Andrew, like, and it's actually hilarious enough. It's with Rob. It's from a few years ago. Like, Andrew is bringing on Rob Noor for an interview or something. It's from like 2022. And he's bringing Rob on to talk, and then he's like mocking me. He's like, "Oh, like I'm in the chat talking shit, I guess." And he's like, "Oh, Radical Copers wants to come on spar with Rob Noor for a little while. That'll be over in about 14 seconds." And then it cuts over to like 4 hours later, and Andrew's just singing my praise about how excited he was and how happy he was and how much fun, how epic he thought the Rob Noor Radical Coder debate was. What's new? Any fun streams you want to do? I think so. But I think part of the ambiguity of it all that we're channeling tonight is I don't know. I don't know what I want the streams to look like. And I'm trying to, I think sometimes I'll like start planning out a stream. Like, and I'll have all these ideas for like a big stream I want to do. And then like the more shape it takes, the less excited I become about it. You know, that's just a pattern I notice. Like the more shape it, the more like clear a picture I have of what I want to do on the stream, the less excited I am about that stream. And so that's kind of this whole ambiguity thing. I'm trying to channel, like, not being so sure about what I'm gonna do on stream. Like, just going live for the sake of going live and for the consistency of going live, and just like building up that momentum and kind of like letting things come. Like I've always felt like one of the things, which is what I'm doing right now, is this, like, one of my best, when I'm at my best often when I'm just like talking to you guys, just talking to my chat, and like whatever you guys are thinking about, I can kind of reflect and bounce on. I can just bounce on it, you know. You know, the background on your waiting screen for the stream. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not even a new one. That's actually been my if you go to my channel, that's been my my banner for a long time. Ryan, you need to read websites like Breitbart and Roaming Millennial for unbiased and factual information. So true, Vic. Great advice. For legal reasons, that's a joke. Yeah, I was gonna lock you up for that. Prob's hard to get mad when they're as dishonest as Rob. Like, he knows it's nothing personal. Vic, you mean watch the propaganda for the unbiased view? Yeah, I think Vic is being a memer. The left trusts facts, the right distrusts the left sources. That's true. I knocked on all my neighbors' doors to tell them to watch your stream. Thank you. They called the cops on me so I could tell the officers to also watch your stuff. We're helping them the best we can. Everybody do exactly what Vikram just described. Go to your neighbors, knock on their doors, harass your neighbor. I'm just kidding. Don't harass your neighbors, but do tell them to watch the stream. Michelle, if I'm going to be honest, both the left and the right have their own facts and dismiss others. You know, in a way, that's true. But I want to challenge this notion. There's this whole idea that, like, there needs to be some perfect balance between like the left and the right. Like there's something inherently valuable about not leaning in one direction or another. But I think it's also perfectly possible, plausible, likely even, that one side is actually being a little bit more dishonest. I think that might be the reality. Isn't it possible? Isn't it logically possible, James, that one side lies a little bit more? It is a book by Karl Marx. Well, there you go. That's maybe our book club will be Karl Marx's Jewish Question. Karl was not a fan of the Stein, says Vikram. I've heard talk about this. I don't know the exact. Isn't Karl Marx like technically kind of Jewish? Yeah, that's, or maybe not Jewish, but like, yeah, I don't think he like hated the Jewish people or whatever. Look it up. You Chicago even published talking about it. I'm the same exact way. I want to make content, but I have no clue what kind of content. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what I want it to be, but I know that when I do it, I have fun, right? And Umbreon hates it, but I enjoy it a lot. And people seem to enjoy what I do, both with debate panels and like little streams like this. Like people seem to enjoy just the chatting as well. We're probably gonna we'll do a little bit of vibe coding shortly. I'll do a few. I'll just kind of keep reading chats for a bit, but we're gonna do some vibe coding on the topic of ambiguity, and then I'm gonna probably open up the panel for like an hour or so, and then we might call it. I'll go get some food. But let's see. The term Jewish question refers to a historical discourse in Europe, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries, concerning the status and place of Jewish people in society. That's true. Michelle, are you a progressive moderate, a leftist? What would you call yourself? Good question. My guess is progressive. Sounds like me and my ADHD, the planning and ambiguity, etc. Yes, exactly. It's like it's so satisfying to do the planning. Like I love the process of the planning, but the actual like executing on it, I'm like, I feel like the execution was the planning. Like I had so much fun planning this thing. I don't actually want to do that thing. I want to do something new. I want to do something different. I'm inspired now to do something entirely separate. Stream idea for you from Mr. Bill. I will let you join me during my stream as I react to right-wing IRL streams questioning and embarrassing lefties, and you can give your 2 cents. Yeah, I'd be happy to hop on sometime. Only Mr. Bill. Remember to like the stream. Like the stream, yes. This is a little known fact, but my dog Umbreon actually eats likes. Yeah, we can't afford kibble, so we eat likes. And if you like the stream, then he gets to eat. If you don't like the stream, well, he will starve. Karl Marx's book is called On the Jewish Question. It's about the Jewish question, which is what people of the time called anti-Semitic discourse in Europe. Which makes sense because yeah, it seems like an apt naming for that discourse. Why are you screaming? What are you trying to accomplish, huh? What do you think is going to happen? You think I'm going to run away? I'm right here. My son. No one denies that Karl Marx was an anti-Semite. He is a product of his time. It's no different to meat eaters today. Interesting take, Vikram. I think people do deny that he was an anti-Semite. I mean, he certainly had, like you said, some product of his time anti-Semitism. My understanding, but I think people do deny that he's an anti-Semite in the traditional sense. The truth is that one side says that both sides lie, implying that they lie. That's a good point, Michelle. It's like, oh yeah, well, everybody does it. Everybody does it. I don't do it. I meme sometimes. I can be silly at times. I don't think I lie. I think I can't keep. I've always like not wanted to lie about anything because I can't keep track of what I'd be lying about, and I don't want to have to worry about it. He was Jewish. Okay, well there you go. Isn't Milo Jewish? Yeah, also. Milo is a gay grifter. That's true. Michelle is a progressive. Confirmed. We got her. All right, folks. Straight to the camps. A JQer sources claim. A Jaeger? They reverse the order in Germany. Phrase is often listed as a question at the very beginning. I don't know what you mean by that, but thank you, Duck. That's ADHD. Welcome to the club. Welcome, Ella Sparta. Yes, it is indeed. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Umbreon. You goofy dog. Question Jewish is more accurate. Oh, I see. You're explaining the language, the way the language works. Yeah, I don't know any German, so. James says, I was trying to be respectful, Michelle, because I kind of figured you were progressive, but I didn't want to assume anything. I'd rather just ask. Yeah, we can ask questions here. It's an open forum within reason. Ryan, I think Bill was saying for you to do streams watching people like Charlie Kirk dunking on dumb lefties. I think hang on, what did he say exactly? He said my stream. He said like his own stream idea for you. I will let you join me during my stream, he said, as I react to right-wing IRL streams questioning and embarrassing lefties, and you can give your 2 cents. So he's not saying that exactly. Vic. Common Vic L. Common Vic L. Dex Weiss says National Questions is a good Wikipedia article. We'll check that out. National Questions. Marxism and the National Question. Is that the one? I'm not going to like read through this right now or anything. I just wanted to open the tab so I have it. F. Well, I'll take offense. What makes me understand you were progressive because you said the right don't believe in facts. And all I could think as a right winger is you say trust the science until you don't. Yeah, I mean, I think progressives, we trust scientific, we trust like things about the scientific process. Doesn't mean that like everything that some scientist says is trustworthy, right? It's more complicated than that. You could, but I was asking him to. Yeah, look at that, Vic. Yeah. You're bad, Vic. Everyone say Vic L in the chat. All right, Vic L in the chat. It's not everyone. It's just them lying all the time. It's definitely especially the right now. Lying. Should I have nothing but respect because I think we're both needed. Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. Got her. I barely know her. Does Ryan like Howard the Duck, the Marvel hero? Howard the Duck, as voiced by Seth Green in the Guardians of the Galaxy post-credits scene. I do. I think so. I don't know a lot of Howard the Duck media. I got it wrong, Rye. Yeah. Don't let it happen again, Vic. Don't let it happen again. When you pull from one and I pull from the other with our ideas, usually the best one wins, and that's why what I love. That's why you're needed in my size and needed. I believe we just stagnate. Yeah, I agree. It's valuable for ideas to be challenged from both sides, for sure. Yeah, common Vic L. Oh, James, the thing with science is just anything that's proven and provable to be true. Yeah. We love Umbi. Bic L. Well, Vic. We're talking about Vic, but yeah, Vic here. Vic Rum. Umbreon. Hold up. I think he's upset because I'm talking like this direction. I'm not talking at him. He's like, why are you talking so much, but you're not speaking to me? I'm Umbreon. I know. It makes no sense. Why would I do that? It's just not fair. Yes, the MCU hero. I trust science as a methodology, but people are human and are fallible. That's why science is important, because you can try yourself and make sure that it's correct. Yes, I agree. I like the scientific process. I like that there's a lot of people trying to disprove different things, like each other in the scientific community in general. So when there is like when people do tend to agree on something like climate change, for example, I think I tend to find comfort in that reality. Also, there's like you can find explanations that are like that can comport with reality. Am I using that word correctly? Comport. Like I think NASA has an article called like "How We Know About Climate Change." NASA, how we know climate change. Wait, NASA. It's actually really good. Really good article. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm just gonna. I know, Umbi. I know. I'm gonna open up that article. I'm just gonna Control A, copy it all, and I'm gonna throw it into Web LLM Arena, and I'm gonna show you guys once it. We'll see what it makes. Okay. So shortly we will have a vibe coded website on how we know that climate change is happening. If it's not correct, then well, the person made a mistake and they're wrong. It's not science that's wrong. Yes, exactly. Agreed with Rave. Sorry, I mean agreed with James. Okay. Oh. Like if I make a mistake in maths and things don't add up, it's not because maths are wrong. That's a great point, Michelle. You know, I've talked about this a lot over the years. It's one of the reasons I love like coding and math as well. Like I find that programming in general, I think it helps, or at least it helped me find a lot of comfort in being wrong about something. Because like when my code doesn't work, like it's not working. Like I can't like argue and be like, no, my code actually does work. I am actually correct. As a matter of fact, like if it's just not doing what it's supposed to do, then it's just not doing it, right? It is what it is. Like it's just not working. That's life. I think James believes you only trust science on non-gender stuff. Yeah, but that's a dumb take. If you decide to pick and choose which facts you believe, it's not my problem. So true. I believe in science when it agrees with me, but deny it when it disagrees with me. Base Giga Chad, absolute Giga Chad. Just got cooler by 2 degrees. I just confirmed climate change. I don't think that that's what they mean by climate change. That it's like the temperature is changing. I think it's a big difference between temperature and climate. Assume you're joking, but it's funny no matter what. Ambiguity mean? What does ambiguity mean? Is that what you're asking? That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked, Garuda. I'm so glad you asked because I actually have a tab open for this. Ambiguity. What does ambiguity mean? According to dictionary.com, ambiguity is a noun that means doubtfulness or uncertainty of meaning or intention. So you could speak with ambiguity, or you have an ambiguity of manner. I find it interesting that a synonym is deceptiveness. I think that's curious because I think a lot of times my frustration with ambiguity is, in fact, that people use it for deceptive means. But I think the vagueness is kind of what I like about it. Or rather, the second definition is what I like more, like an unclear, indefinite, or equivocal word, expression, meaning, etc. Like I don't mind when there's not like a correct answer or like a satisfying answer. Like I like open-ended questions. I find those like fun. I don't know. I don't think there's always going to be like a satisfying answer to every single question. I think that's okay. You know what I mean? You just can't really trust yourself when talking about a topic you know nothing of in general. That's true. Pretty sure it's ambiguity. It is indeed. Climate, weather conditions prevailing in an area in general. Yes, indeed. So temperature would be one condition, right? Wouldn't be climate would be an aggregate of much more conditions, presumably. James says the whole thing about global warming, China is never going to stop polluting, and to expect other countries to follow us, good luck. I think it's noble, but not realistic. Well, yeah, I guess the question is like, how do we create incentives to encourage multiple countries to like focus on these things together? Like, how can we build? I think this was the Paris Climate Accords and stuff were one way of approaching that. Yeah, exactly. It's no excuse to pollute without impunity. But let's see. Oh, we have our climate change evidence. Look at that. So so what I did was I opened up the NASA website, copied all the text, threw it into LM Arena, and we got a couple web apps here. So let's look at our first one. It says climate change evidence. Unequivocal evidence shows Earth is warming at an unprecedented rate. Human activity is the principal cause. We have a 2-degree global temperature rise since the late 19th century, 421 ppm I don't know what the ppm stands for. Does someone know ppm? Garuda says, I study biology and health science and smarter than most people on earth in these topics. This is not a sentence of ambiguity. I study biology and health science and smarter than most people on earth in these topics. This is not a sentence of ambiguity. I don't know what you're... I don't think I understand this quote. Parts per million. Yes, that makes sense. CO2 concentration, parts per million. That makes sense. But if you can only control your part and what happens in your country, that does nothing to stop global warming, does it? No, but I think you can lead by example, and you can use the kind of soft power to influence how other countries approach things, right? NASA is super eco-unfriendly. That might be true. It might be true, but if their information is still valuable, then I think it's... Let's see. Atmospheric CO2 concentration over time is increasing, right? So they're measuring it. Umbreon, stop. You're embarrassing me in front of all my best friends. Yeah, it would slow it down. If you are a large emitter and you do reduce your own emissions, then that would help. The evidence is apparently compelling. The global temperature rise since the 19th century. The planet's average surface temperature has risen about 2 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius since the late 19th century, driven largely by increased carbon dioxide emissions. The ocean is warming by about 0.67 degrees Fahrenheit. Top 100 meter warming since 1969. Okay, the ocean has absorbed much of increased heat, with the top 100 meters showing warming of 0.67 degrees Fahrenheit or 0.33 degrees Celsius since 1969. Earth stores 90% of extra energy in the ocean. The more you know. We have lost ice sheets. Greenland, hey, is not going to be the 51st state, has lost 279 billion tons of ice per year between 1993 and 2019, while Antarctica lost 148 billion tons per year. 148 billion tons, that's a lot of tons. That's a huge amount of tons. Global sea level rose about 8 inches in the last century. The rate in the last 2 decades is nearly double that of the last century. That seems to be increasing. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's like in Washington, Michelle, we're going to start spending less. You're still spending. You're still polluting. It's still wrong when there's nothing we can do to stop them, especially outside. But I feel like we can do stuff. BBF. We'll take it. Does this include data from volcanic activity? I suspect that it does. I've heard this talking point before. Our country. Some facts everyone should know. God not real, science good, and Trump bad. You know, Vikram, you might have a point there. The point is we're stuck on this earth and temperatures are getting unlivable and getting worse. And you're like, why slow it down a little if we can't stop it at all? That's a great point, Michelle. That is a great point. Let's see. Both the extent and thickness of Arctic sea ice has declined rapidly over the last several decades. 13% per decade. Seems like a lot. We have more extreme events. So the number of record high temperature events has been increasing, while record low temperature events have been decreasing since 1950. Some key takeaways. Earth's climate is changing at a rate not seen in the past 10,000 years. People might say, oh, well, how do you know? You weren't around for 10,000 years. But, obviously we can make predictions and deductions about what the climate was like at certain points based on information that we do have access to. Human activity has been established as the principal cause since the 1970s. Curious. Multiple independent lines of evidence all point to a warming planet. The rate of change since the mid-20th century is unprecedented. This is all data sourced from the NASA Climate Change and Global Warming. Curious. This one has a lot more information. Again, all of this information. So just so if you don't believe anything I said here, I'm going to post a link to the actual NASA climate change website where I got all this information from. Let's see. By the way, Ryan, my bad for excessive reel sending. The reels aggo got me addicted. I deleted the app from my phone. It's okay. You're not the only one who sends me excessive reels, and I don't mind. I can't watch them all. but I do try to go back through and watch them from time to time. I have my own reel addiction, right? I have my own reel habits that I have to go through, but I don't mind. I don't mind you sending me reels. Feel free, Vikram or anyone. If you see a reel on Instagram and you're like, Ryan would love this, feel free to send me your reels. I don't mind. Even if I don't respond immediately. Michelle says, like, if you build a house, it's going to be gone one day. It's not going to stand forever. So why build it? Right. True. I worked in an oil refinery before the Caribbean. In the Caribbean. The ISS is literally responsible for sea life dying and beaching themselves. Leave it to NASA to not say they are the biggest part of the problem. I'm sure they are. Or not, maybe not the biggest, but certainly a part of the problem. I don't doubt. Michelle, I get the point. I realize it's happening. You're missing the point that there's little to do about it unless everybody gives a fuck, what you can't make people. No, but I mean, the thing is, a lot of people deny that it's happening and that we can do anything about it, right? Like this is a self-defeating mindset, I feel like. Like, yeah, it's hard to convince people. Like I agree, it's hard to convince people that there's something that can be done about it. But part of that is because there's so much propaganda telling people that it's not happening, that there is nothing we can do about it. Like we've gotta be able to bridge that gap. In a perfect world, we would care about the world that we were given by God. Between me and you, we were the line perfectly on that. I'm talking about what is true, not what ought to be true. I understand where you're coming from. Look at that. Who's that guy? Look at that handsome guy and that cute pupper. Why hold that as your standard? Yes, exactly. Yeah. Good advice. Anyway, I want to try something else on here. I'm just gonna type in the word ambiguity, and after this one, I'm gonna drop the panel link. So if anyone wants to come on, is anybody planning on coming up? If not, we might just shut it down after this. Because me and your folks are different. You want to slow down the process, which is noble, but I would also do mitigation R&D research. Yeah, why not both? Like I feel like people are doing both. Steelman might be popping up. I'll come chat with you someday. Someday, he says. Maybe not today, but someday. Happy to have you on. What I would do is invest in new technologies to help us deal with more storms and higher water levels. I feel like that's isn't that one of the things that like Green New Deal people were pushing for? I don't know that specifically, but or the not the Inflation Reduction, what was that bill? What's the bill that invested in a bunch of industries that has now been shut down completely by the Trump administration? Like it was really funny. I was watching an Andrew Wilson stream a while back, and he was saying how, if there was a Democrat who was running on a platform about getting rid of all of the like overhead power lines and putting them underground, he would vote for that Democrat. And I looked into it. And as it turns out, there was a man who passed legislation, in fact, that provided funding for states to do exactly that. And that man's name was Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden. Believe it or not. These technologies, believe it or not, Democrats are actually doing things that are exactly what James is describing here, exactly what Andrew was pontificating about. Democrats are actually doing the things that Republicans say they want. Many such cases. The best thing is individual carbon footprint awareness. The worst people for helping the climate is NASA, vegans, and PPL, people who litter in a body of water. I mean, those are all bad things. Boo Baden. Difference is I want the markets to decide what would be best, where you as a progressive don't mind stacking the deck into green energy, even if it cripples our economy. I don't, no, I actually do not want to cripple the economy. I don't advocate for things in ways that would cripple the economy. I think that's part of the fight is that I think some of the things that people are encouraging to happen are being shut down because there are interests that don't want them to happen, right? Find it like oil companies and stuff that don't want these things to happen because their profits will be affected, not because the economy will be crippled, but because their profits, their specific profits, will be impacted. The economy won't be crippled. They would just make less money. Some people might make less money if they don't adapt. They could also make more money if they adapt, right? Anyone can break into the building, send a storm to their ex-girlfriend's house or a country they don't like. Messing with nature is always bad. I don't exactly follow that. Break into the building, send a storm to their ex-girlfriend's house. You know, as tempting as that sounds. No, I'm in fact, as a matter of fact, I am on good terms with the vast majority of my exes. I don't want to send storms to them, or I do not curse. I do not want to curse any of my exes. I forgive them for their and my transgressions. Who knew? Joe Biden. The markets will do what makes them more money, not what's best, every single time. I agree, Michelle. I can concede that profits might be the main factor for a lot of companies, but if there's an actual need for a product that is green and there's enough green people, that product will sell. Well, I think the contention is that there may not always be a market incentive. Like it may be, you say cripple the economy. There may be economic drawbacks to doing certain things that may pay off more in the long term, right? And obviously those need to be approached like carefully. Like we can't just like dive in and let everything collapse on a hypothesis or whatever. Like incremental changes, it's fine. I think radical ideas with incremental change. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What's up, sarcastic saint? One of my biggest haters. One of my biggest haters in the game. Spends a lot of money to shut me up. Sometimes drops a little bit of money to bring me back on, though. I'm doing well. Thank you, sarcastic saint. Thank you for being here. If green products sell, then you don't need to stack the deck. It's because you want to force people into green energy, and I don't believe in forcing them. I believe people should choose. I mean, I agree ideally, right? But I feel like we can do both in a lot of ways. Like I don't think we need to force people into green energy. I think we can invest in green energy, and that will help people be more likely to choose it as those technologies develop. We just give them a little catalyst, right? Need some enzymes. I think I'm using that terminology correctly. Thing is, people won't want it until they get it and realize it's actually good. That's true. Then you as a progressive will be more better than me as a conservative because you're saying that they don't know better. We need to step in and show them conservatives act the same way. I'm not even necessarily saying that. Like, I think that is what Michelle is kind of implying here. But that's not necessarily what I'm getting at. Although I guess that's an implication of what I'm saying. But I think there's like there's compatibility here. I think we can do both. I really do. I think we can invest in things that might turn out to be better alternatives while still funding the things that are working currently. I feel this feels very possible to me. I don't think we should let people decide whether the planet dies. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think the planet should not die. It may be a controversial take, but I think I'm with Michelle on this one. I don't want the planet to die. Personally, as someone who lives on the planet, I also don't want it to die. I don't want to die. I would like to step in and say people are too stupid. They should be making certain decisions, just like you're saying about the green energy. So how are you different than me? I'm not saying I'm different. I mean, just because we have different goals. I don't think people are stupid. I guess that's one way different. I totally reject the framing where like a lot of people say this, like, oh, the average American's stupid, the average person is dumb. I totally reject this. I think this is something that like average intelligence people assert to make themselves like feel more feel superior. I don't think most people are stupid. I think most people are kind of average intelligence, like definitionally. We just built Diffie. We built Diffie. We think the planet should not die. I guess, but that is using force to enforce your preference. You will be no different than me as a conservative that wants to do the same thing, but my preferences are different. Look, I agree. We have different preferences, and we want to enforce our different preferences to some degree. That's what laws are. That's what governing is. That's what I like about liberalism, is that we can both push for our values, and we can have compatible. We can form legislation that takes like viewpoints from multiple perspectives, and has like consolidate, or what's the word, makes concessions in certain areas. I love this guy. Talking about me, he makes it easy to make him rage. He loves to hate me. You do make me. Sometimes I've been genuinely mad at you, Sarcastic Saint. Like particularly at times where it's like I've been silenced for like an hour, and I finally get in, and I'm about to say something, and then you shut me out. That is very annoying. But I understand why that's a very satisfying thing to do as well. So I don't really blame you for it, and I always appreciate you supporting the Raging Tomato channel. I think it benefits me. But you was a lefty. If you was a lefty, you would say people shouldn't decide. I would be considered a fascist, wouldn't I? I think fascism is more specific. Individual carbon footprint is more important for the environment. On aggregate, yes. People make fun of me because I don't have a car, get an Uber or a bus. You should see my majestic legs. I also have I have nice legs myself. I have huge calves. I have crazy calves. I'm a toe walker for most of my life. So I happen to have inhuman calves. This is one of my unique features. It's like my mutant power. Massive calves. Thank you, Michelle, for this back and forth. Yeah, we love this. We love it. I'm glad the chat is having these conversations. Politics is not just left and right. That's true. You can be authoritarian left or libertarian left. Both are left. Ask AI about it. Which one? Sorry. But if I would have held the same standard about a different issue, I would have been called a fascist. I mean, I probably get called a fascist sometimes. Although I think I have generally anti-fascist values and views, but enforcing my view on other people. Yeah, I don't think fascism is when you enforce like it's not fascist to use force, right? Like it's not fascist to stop a murderer from stabbing people. Like that's not fascism, right? But you're using force to enforce your view that that this person should not be killing people, right? It's not fascism. Wouldn't force people but electric cars, they just reward. Yeah, exactly. Providing incentives for people to do behaviors that are beneficial. That's the goal, right? Ha 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 ha. That villain laugh. Saint, you are a prick sometimes. You know, Nukes has said it, not me. Rhino would come up, but I'm at home with my woman. If I was at my family's, which I should be next weekend, not this one, I might. With my woman right now, it's been a rough patch. Hey, do your thing, James. Live your life. The gaytastic gay. A dark saint never committed a good deed. Get it right, I'm always a prick, says Sarcastic Saint. You said it, not me. Bye, losers. Bye, Sarcastic Saint. Have a great night, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Don't forget to like the stream on your way out. Enforcing law forcefully, I'd call that state brutality. Yeah, even, and it could be justified, right? It could be like you can justify state brutality. Like I said, like if I want the state to stop people from like murdering each other. The problem is the progressive just regulate cars to the point where they're no longer feasible to work. So by default, green energy wins. I don't think that's happening. I think most people can still drive cars. Like I don't follow. Yeah, I just don't think that's happening like at all. All right, ambiguity. This is a vibe coded app on Ambiguity. All I did was type in ambiguity, and we don't know. Well, obviously the left one is better, so let's see. Oh, failed to submit vote. Looks like I waited too long. So we won't be able to find out what model made this, but ambiguity, when perception meets multiple interpretations. So we have the Necker cube. Check to flip perspective. Which face is in front? Curious. Looks like this. I don't even know how to describe the one on the front, right? This one. Okay, it looks like our auto rotate feature doesn't work. Double meanings. Hover over sentences to reveal interpretations. I saw the man with the telescope. Because it could be, you could either see a man who has a telescope, or you could see a man through a telescope. So I used the telescope to see a man, or you saw a man who had a telescope. Time flies like an arrow. Time flies like an arrow. Is this, so the ambiguity here is it flies like an arrow, as in like time flies, like it goes fast like an arrow, but it also flies linearly. It flies in like one direction like an arrow. Is that time passes quickly and time flies in joy? Oh, that's not what I thought. Time flies enjoy arrows if time flies were insects. Okay, that's a wild one. I'm not sure about that one, but the chicken is ready to eat. That could be the chicken who is about to eat food, or that you're about to eat the chicken. The chicken is cooked and ready to be eaten, or the chicken is hungry and ready to eat something. Yeah, both work. Move the slider to morph between interpretations. So it's more circular here, and it's more diamond-like here, but it's kind of the same shape. Oh, interesting. Wait, it is the same shape, right? It's just rotated. Here it's like a square. Oh, I guess if it's a I mean, it's not a circle here. I don't know if they intend for it to be a circle here. Do you see faces or a vase? I don't know if these optical illusions work as well. Is this, we know the image. I think most of us know the image that's being referenced here, right? Like it's like two faces or a vase. I don't think it's been particularly. I think they're trying to represent that image using these like probably some SVG or something. It's the rabbit or the duck. Again, I don't think it's quite nailing what it's going for. Which way is the circle moving? It seems like it's going clockwise. Could it be going counterclockwise? How would it be going counterclockwise? I don't think that. I don't feel like this one works very well. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. What's going on here? Yeah, we're just chilling, talking about ambiguity, talking about climate change, talking about green energy, talking about Joe Biden. We're just vibing. A chill stream. We love windmills here. Windmill. Someone just sent me a Pokemon Go gift, guys. What about them? Solar energy is unreliable and expensive. It's worse than dish TV. I'm not sure about that. Unreliable without good batteries? Yes, probably. Expensive, debatably. Michelle, I live near the Canadian border. I see windmills all the time, and all they do is go to the help that the grid, which helps people in New York City, not where I live in the state. So it helps people. Does seem to be. Coder, are you interested in team? I'm sorry. Look, okay, Dave. I am super. This is you will learn this about me. Many people in this chat probably already know this about me. I am super avoidant, and you are not my only unresponded message. I promise you. I apologize for not getting back to you about this, but yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down to team up for debate. Let me know what topics you have in mind, and I'll consider it more. like who you want to debate and what you want to fight about. But yes, Dave, I'm willing. It is nothing personal. Solar power ain't that expensive. That's my understanding as well. So why should I suffer? Watch our land up here get destroyed so they can get cheap energy down in the city. They want it so bad, build it near the city or in the city. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. To people, I guess what if you don't like it? I don't know what the arguments are for or against having that those things in that particular area. Oh my god, this is so cute. What? Look at this. Look at this 8-bit windmill farm. Yo. This is completely AI generated, by the way. And it works perfectly. It stops, it starts. That is so cute. I can stop them individually? No way. How cute is that, huh? I have so many debate topics, says Garuda. What do you have in mind? What do you want to debate about, Garuda? By the way, don't forget to like the stream. Like the stream. Stream likers will be spared in the revolution. Zerzuz says hello. Good to see you, buddy. I like your avatar. Very Ultron. Very Ultron. Is that Ultron like an Ultron bot crushing an orange? Crushing an orange man, perhaps? Michelle, don't they use concrete bases which are pretty large and it literally destroys the land because trees can't grow. But then Michelle says they can plant trees elsewhere, which is true. My understanding is that trees can be planted elsewhere. How many bird species have died from the blades? I was wondering if someone would bring this up. How many bird species have died? Have any birds gone extinct because of windmills, do you think? It is a robotic penguin crushing an orange. Well, it's beautiful, Zerzu. Thank you. Zerzuz. Excuse me. Wow. This one seems to have taken a long time. Look at that. It's creating a type called turbine metrics. This one's going to be fancy. It's got a clamp. It's got CPU for speed, RPMs, power. This one doesn't have all that fancy stuff. This one's just a cute little animation. The duality of LLMs. We're seeing it in real time. The plurality, realistically, of LLMs. Not a single. If a bird species did go extinct because of mindless windmills, you know what? I will condemn the extinction of that bird species. I don't want birds to go extinct. If I'm more green than you are. I worry more about the environment because I care about those trees. That might be like a selective application of environmentalism. Could be argued. Planting trees elsewhere is not destroying that land. I'll explain it after I get food. Yeah, take your time. We're going a little bit longer here. I'm probably gonna shut down before 10 p.m. Probably gonna be done before 10. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in case anyone wants to hop up and fight with me or talk to me. Vibe code something with me. Trees don't need to be at a specific place. They just need to be planted. If women love equality and want to be equal to men, she needs to go 50-50. If she makes more money than me, then I will be a house husband. I want equality. I mean, those are your values. Feel free to. We say if women here. It sounds like you're talking about like a woman that you want to be with. Like this sounds like something you want in a partner, which is fine, right? I think it's fine. You can want that, and I encourage you, go for it. Like shoot your shot. But like when you say women, if women love equality, they need to, like, the implication that all women need to commit to this is like, I think like different relationships can be constructed different ways, right? We got KO Dave. Welcome.
Hello.
To the most radical stream on the internet.
Are these radical windmills?
They are they not? I mean, look, I can stop them and start them whenever I want, just with the click of a button. Imagine if I had a dashboard that had this adorable windmill app, but it actually controlled real windmills that we wanted to turn on and off in the real world. That's totally possible, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it seems perfectly possible. All you have to do is connect this application to some backend that sends a signal, an on-off signal to some windmill somewhere. I don't know what the I feel like if I was a windmill operator, I would appreciate such a dashboard, but that's just me.
I assume windmill engineers and repairmen already have a way to turn off windmills.
Well, I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying it might be fun to do it in other ways.
Oh, hey, Effigy. Hello.
Yeah. What's up, Effigy? Sorry, Cody. We can't debate anyone anymore because as non-orthos, we lack moral grounding to justify our beliefs. So true. Also, welcome, Brandon Mize.
Can someone explain to me why they think that? Because it doesn't make sense to me at all.
I mean,
is that the thing? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's the whole what's the EO like the whole idea that without God you can't have any knowledge or whatever, and so if you don't accept their specific grounding, then you can't even have a conversation because you're accepting knowledge exists, and so if you think knowledge exists, then you're granting God. So if you are an atheist and you don't agree with that, then what are you even doing? You can't even have this conversation. That's kind of how I feel like when I'm talking to like a Jim Bob or Jay Dyer or Andrew type when they lean into that stuff.
It's confused on so many levels.
How dare you guys try to debate without moral grounding?
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all, and it comes across as just nothing but bad faith.
I don't even think it's necessarily bad faith. I think they're just philosophically confused because they listen to people like Jay Dyer. I mean, if you ask... Well, no, William Lane Craig is a different kind of apologist. He's what they call an... Can you guys hear me? I'm on the road
well,
right
you're
now.
roboting.
Yeah, you're a little roboty, but overall...
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, William Lane Craig is a little different. He's an evidentialist. Now, people like Jay Dyer and Jim Bob, they are presuppositionalists. So they just...
What do these words
assume mean? God. So an evidentialist is somebody...
presuppose it existing in everything. Everything has to presuppose God to be logically correct.
Oh, that's silly.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so when they say something like, you can't have knowledge without God, that's just a claim. If you ask... watch them. I mean, they're just incapable of doing it.
Well, this is also why I say they quote Craig a lot as well, because they constantly go to tag the transcendental argument for God, and William Lane Craig kind of made that his shtick in the late 2000s when the new atheist movement was happening, which is why you constantly hear them say things like truth or concepts, that these are all like universal or necessary categories. Then they slide that into, well, these things have to have a mind to create them, and therefore the mind is the mind of God. And we always end up in that same argument with orthos. Like it always boils down to that fucking argument.
Effigy, do you have a dog animation?
No.
Not yet.
You should get one.
That's the one you gotta work on, yeah.
Yeah. Because then
when
the next time we're all up and all the ortho bros are going off, we can all bring our dogs up.
Pull up the pups.
Yeah.
Absolutely overpower them with cuteness. That's the move. Yeah, I agree. It's not always like a bad faith thing. I think there are some people who kind of grift with it. I don't know exactly who's doing it. Sometimes I get the feeling like a Jim Bob. I feel like he's a little bit. I don't know how much of it he truly believes in his heart of hearts, and how much of it's like a kind of performative thing. Like I watched he debated vegan gains recently, and Ox.
Oh my God,
gifted Radical Coder memberships. Congratulations
Nice.
to everyone who receives a gifted Radical Coder membership. You have access now to the adorable emotes that we have. We even have a baby Umbreon emote that you can use. I highly recommend you all try it out. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Kitsy Cat. I appreciate you.
That's awesome. She kicks ass.
Yeah, she really does. But yeah, he debated vegan gains, and there was a
Who did?
like Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
Oh my god,
And
I need to see that. That's
it was, you know, the first hour of the conversation was actually like seemed like it was going in an interesting direction. Like Jim, it's rare to hear Jim Bob in like a good faith dialogue, which I feel like for the initial part of the debate it was, but as I think vegan gains kind of cornered his logic, at least that's my perception of it. I'm sure that Jim Bob fans would disagree with what was happening there. He got increasingly aggressive and very performatively.
It's every single debate.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So when Jim Bob was calling me like a fatty, I was winning.
Yeah, probably.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. I'm still new to this space, and this is like coming on to Sarah's open panels is the first time I've run into this orthodox friggin' like insanely reductionist philosophical weirdness, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's just giving me a headache every time. And it's
the best
that's what I like to call
advice
it.
Somebody
take the Socratic method and just like pump it into the ground.
Well, I don't
the
know.
best
how to do
advice
that, right?
with these people.
I'm still new.
Go ahead, Brandon.
The best thing,
Sorry.
the best thing to do with these people is just to ask them what the fuck they mean by that. Because if you listen to them, they'll just say stuff like, "Well, what is your ultimate grounding for the foundation of your morality?" Like, what the fuck are you trying to say, bro? What are you even like saying? Because a lot of the times, by grounding, they don't mean what is typically meant in philosophy. By foundation, they use that idiosyncratically. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Just ask them what they mean, and that's half the battle
always
right there.
expecting one answer, just like the cookie cutter fit into like their religion is their one answer for morality, but everybody else uses multiple avenues to discern reality and morality. Like no one just uses harm. No one just uses well-being. Like we at every moment of every day, we are encountering moral situations and using different metrics. Sometimes we're going to be more utilitarian. Sometimes we're going to use more value ethics. Like the idea that they're like waiting for this one answer, it's just never going to come. And that's a framing that they always use. What's your grounding? And then the first thing you say, they just like jump on that and they're like, well, harm does this. Utility will make harm, put people in boxes and shoot them in the head and stuff.
Yeah, and you know, I think that's a really great point, especially in the context of this stream, because there's something about that fear of ambiguity that is filled by a kind of like an answer to ambiguity that you can just kind of regurgitate. Like I find like I don't know if you guys remember, there was a debate. I don't remember who was on there, so I'm not gonna be able to represent this correctly. But there was a debate on Sarah's channel a few weeks ago, and somebody was arguing about like they were trying to explain basically presuppositionalism, but they were like someone who's I think it was might have been the Wi-Fi gospel guy and someone else. They were trying to argue like that position, but it seemed like they didn't really have a firm grasp on the fundamentals of it, because they were citing things like the laws of logic and the law of excluded middle and all this stuff, but they're like not using it. They're leaning on. They're like, well, I know this because the law of excluded middle, and I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? Like Brandon said, like what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like they're just regurgitating something that somebody gave them an answer that felt satisfying, and they're like, okay, I can just say that again, and that because these people feel very confident when they say it. Like the people who are selling it to me, they're very confident, and they say this is what it reduces to, and this is the grounding that we need to argue our worldview. And so I trust them, so I can just repeat it as well, and it'll work for me. But I think what they'll find when they engage with people who are more curious and trying to understand what they're actually saying is that they kind of fall on their face trying to actually elaborate on it instead of like
the debate that really proved just how bad faith they are was that evolution debate the other day. And it's always the evolution debate, because when a whole bunch of people who do not believe in science sit there and try to use science to disprove actual science, like it is the most ridiculous thing. That's all that evolution debate was.
I found it weird how Jim Bob was attacking this concept of populations, and I'm like, what does populations have to do with any of this? The answer is it has nothing to do with any of this. And it was just when I'm debating against people that come up with these completely, out of left field arguments that make no sense, my brain just like breaks its gears and stops working for a second, because I'm trying to understand something that's probably not understandable. And I struggle to figure out a way forward from there. Yeah,
I think that's kind of by design. Like you're supposed to, if you're coming from the like a kind of more evidence based, like or like I don't know, sciencey worldview, then like you're supposed to feel kind of flabbergasted in those situations. Like that's the intended result, right? It's a kind of gaslighting in a way, really, I think. But what's up, Zerzuz?
I kind of believe that as well, with a lot of the random needs for definitions, like good and bad and things like that. I mean, sure, you do need definitions within a debate, but average definitions, like 3-letter words, you don't really need to go into that great of detail over, and trying to stack themselves as an arbiter of truth, as far as, I have God, therefore I have a measurement, a weight that I can put to my argument, and you don't have God, therefore you have no weights or no measurements to put to your argument. I kind of think fails a little bit.
And that's what goes back to what I was saying about the categories. And then that's why they argue about things like good and bad truth, because to them, good and bad are actual things. Like God is made of good. Good is not just, to us, good is a descriptor that means things. Truth is a descriptor that means it aligns with reality. They're not things unto themselves. They are only descriptors of other things. So when they try to ask you, like, well, what is good to you? Because they want you to say, it's the nature of God, because they have redefinitions for all of these terms that fit their presuppositionalism.
Now, some arguments I find to be quite atrocious for no reason other than just an emotional attack, and one of those would be Andrew Wilson. So a good example would be during the soy pill, when they were talking about, I think it was the birth rates in America, and would you to a little boy to solve the birth rates in America. I think it was to save humanity or something. How in the hell, excuse my French, but how in the hell are you going to do that to, how is doing that to a boy going to increase the birth rate in America? You require girl for birth rate, girl boy thing, not boy,
but
hypothetically.
Yeah.
And it's just nonsense. It's just an emotional fallacy. What is it? Appeal to emotion fallacy, not necessarily a logical argument.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, as far as the robot penguin, you were wondering about the robot penguin.
Yeah.
So I used to debate flat earthers quite a bit, and most of them said that I sound like a robot. Everybody seems that. So the people who like my voice think my voice is great. People who don't like my voice really hate my voice. And I often got from the flat earth community that it was like a robot, or like I was using an AI voice. So that basically developed an AI robot type concept around my entire channel. Now
Right.
the
Flat Earth.
orange Flatzoid used to use an argument. I destroyed this argument, by the way. Used to use an argument where he was trying to claim that as long as you follow the math the way they tell you to follow the math, you'll always get the result they tell you, and then you'll be right. And he was saying that, well, if I show you, or if I give you these two fruits, and he holds up I believe it was two oranges, and tell you that they're apples, and then I hand you this fruit and tell you it's an orange. I can't remember how the math worked out on it, but it basically what he was arguing is that as long as you did the math, that you'd always end up with two oranges and one apple. When that's what it was. In reality, it was two apples and one orange. So I explained to him how you can break it down by taking the skin of the orange, and it's much thicker than the skin of the apple. Try to squeeze the juice out of the orange by hand. You can't squeeze the juice out of the orange by hand. Or out of the apple by hand, but yet the orange you can. Now you can actually calculate exactly how much juice you can pull out of an orange and an apple. And I had that calculations. The skin of an apple is like 0.3 micron or something like that. It's very, very thin. And basically, for long story short, I destroyed his little orange. So that's me crushing his little orange.
Okay, I love. Thank you for the lore. I followed most of that. that is some deep flat earth lore, but that's cool. Good origin story.
Flat Earthers.
Thank you for standing up to the flat earthers.
Just as like religious as anybody. Like I find every time I've debated a flat earther, I'm like, this is exactly like debating a highly religious person. Yeah. Like logic and facts don't matter at all.
Well, a lot of these statements they make are actually pulled from like pre-Galilean era, and that's what kind of makes me wonder if a lot of it's bullshit. Because, for example, the spinning of the Earth, that whole idea about, oh well, if it was going 1,000 miles per hour at a 600,000 tangential around the sun, then we would most certainly feel this wild roller coaster ride. That comes directly from arguments against Galileo.
Yeah.
And of course we don't, because there's this thing called equal and opposite reactions, and the Earth's gravity keeps us on Earth's surface, so we don't get flung off and we don't experience this.
And there's no acceleration. There's no acceleration. It's a steady.
Well, there is technically acceleration because it's going in a circle. But yeah.
My favorite flat earther question was always, why do people in the southern hemisphere see different stars than the northern hemisphere?
It's a good one.
The star rotations is really what you're looking for. There is when you make the rotations, one rotation, the southern hemisphere counterclockwise and the northern hemisphere clockwise. But there's a lot better arguments than that, as far as you can measure the meridians. You can measure the longitude in between latitudes. So like, let's say if you go to Central Africa right at the equator, and you measure between the longitude or latitude, you measure the longitude line, which is going to be about 600 and some miles or something, and then you go further up to like the UK, and you take another measurement, you'll get a lot smaller measurement, and then as you go up to like the 60th parallel, you'll end up with just a few miles until you end up at zero. So you go back down south the opposite direction, measuring the latitudes. Now, if you want to try this on land, because they like to say do the world, measure the land, don't measure the space, don't measure the stars, measure the land. So you would have to go over
really quickly that I genuinely hate that we have to actually engage rationally with these arguments,
with irrational arguments.
Right, like it's a completely irrational argument. It's as dumb as a as you can fucking get as far as living in the modern world. Like, just on its face, I can fucking drive a boat around the world. I don't fall off. It's easy. I can take a picture from space. Like, this is fucking stupid shit. Anyone who truly believes in flat Earth should be fucking wearing a helmet when they walk outside.
Oh, okay, Effigy. How are you going to take a picture? You've never been to space. How are you going to take a picture from space? What are you talking about? You got a big old ladder I don't know about?
I do have a big ladder. It's an extension ladder.
And so heading south from the equator. Sorry,
hang on. I want to respond to this chat before. But James was saying he came back for a quick second, told me to go on verbal combat. I actually Speakeasy. I went on a show a long time ago. We go way back, and we've actually been planning on. We're supposed to have like an abortion debate at some point, like a more formal one. I think we were trying to get like Rob Noir to actually moderate it, which I thought would be interesting. But yeah, I like Speakeasy. We like to fight with each other.
I do verbal combat a lot. I do most of the graphics actually for verbal combat.
Interesting. That makes sense. Cool stuff. Sorry, Zazuz. Yeah.
It was basically just as you head south, the same thing happens in reverse. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you get to Antarctica. We're on a flat Earth map. If we were going to let's just assume that it was infinite. From the center point, which would be the North Pole, it would continue to go larger and larger and larger. So like if we'll just take a small circle, put a dot in the middle, cut it 4 ways, and continue stretching those further and further out, they're never going to then come back in and converge to a central point again, which is what the Earth actually does when you measure south. And those are physical measurements of the Earth.
All you really need to do is go to one of the poles, measure your weight, and then go to the equator, measure your weight again. Notice that there is a discrepancy where you weigh less at the equator. And then how do you explain that?
Matter of fact, I just covered that on my show today.
Yeah.
About the weight, because Neil deGrasse Tyson. So 4 years ago, Neil deGrasse Tyson explained it properly that your weight would change on depending on your longitude position on the Earth. But Neil deGrasse Tyson then about 2 years ago reversed it and said, nope, your weight's going to be all the same all the way across the Earth uniform. But this guy, Critical Think, who debates flat earthers, went to Antarctica and performed all of those measurements from Australia to the southern point of South America, then into Antarctica. So he got the physical measurements, and that was what my video today was basically not calling out, because I'm not the only person to do it. I'm sure Neil deGrasse Tyson, the more people that pick up on it, telling him that he's wrong, will actually get a hold of this globe earther who has the physical weight measurements, not just theory.
Yeah, I find the I like the anti-flat earthers, reasonable people, science-minded people go on and have these like conversations, because I'm thankful that they can explain it, because I mean like I hear the kind of faux physics, as like someone who doesn't have like a super strong physics background myself, just kind of a very general physics understanding. Like I hear the bizarreness that the flat earthers like speak, and I appreciate people like you and Craig who go out there and fight with these people. But I to be completely honest, I find a lot of the debates like super boring.
Oh yeah.
I have an undergraduate with a major in physics, so I know a little bit about physics, just a bit.
I wouldn't call myself an expert. There's explanation of how gravity works in their model.
That
now, as far as gravity, that's
the first time I heard that, it pissed me off so much. It's like it's just different densities, you know.
As far as gravity, now their explanation of density and buoyancy and that's all nonsense. But As far as their argument that science does not know the causation of gravity, we absolutely know the effect of gravity. We absolutely know how to measure gravity. We kind of understand that gravity is somehow entwined with Earth space time. You know what I mean?
We understand that very, 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 very well.
Yeah.
It is one
But
of
we
the
don't understand what what causes it. What is the exact cause? And science,
gravity is caused by a warping of space-time caused by the presence of energy and pressure.
that's an effect. That's an effect of gravity. That's not the cause of gravity.
Well,
That's what I mean. You can look this
no,
up.
the cause,
you get a Nobel Prize if you get a Nobel Prize if you can find the cause of gravity. Science has yet to do so.
I thought
Well, what do you mean?
I thought it was essentially
Yeah,
the way matter
Einstein
works, and
got
how it's
that.
being drugged through the space-time field, and it creates.
Well, no, Einstein didn't get
gravity
Nobel
because
Prize
everything
for.
has gravity. All matter has gravity.
It's not. Yeah, it's
Or
any.
creates gravity because of its effect dragging through the field.
Well, it's what we measure to detect what gravity is. It doesn't necessarily. It's not like it's not like the condensing of hydrogen on oxygen and the additional oxygen molecule added to make water. We have a process that causes water. We don't necessarily have a process. We just have an explanation of the effect of gravity. So they do kind of have a solid argument there.
Yeah, the cause of gravity is fairly well understood at this point.
Well, I'm not convinced.
It's very, very, very well understood at this point. It has undergone, the general theory of relativity has undergone countless tests that it has aced over the last century.
Not by me.
You just kind of look, if you want to build the next LIGO, go right ahead, okay?
I'm just saying, like, I'm ignorant to I don't know exactly why gravity is. Like, I don't get it. I sort of understand. I have like some intuitions about it based on like knowledge I have.
God's love holding you close to Him.
That's what it feels like. It feels like I feel secure. I jump, I come back down.
We understand it geometrically as it's a whole thing. Like the presence of mass, energy, and pressure in space-time causes a warpage of space-time, which manifests as gravity. And that's the story.
Yeah, according to you.
Well, basically what you're describing is how gravity behaves. You're not necessarily explaining the exact causation.
I think I am describing the causation, though.
Like right now, we're starting to learn that possibly we may be able to explain time, and a lot of the arguments that are going through, like the Neil deGrasse Tyson has spoke on it, and Brian Cox has spoke on it, is that it's a possibility that time is actually caused by black holes, and this is new. This is totally new theoretical physics. And basically what they're describing it as is a leak in some other universe is what causes time within our universe as it's being leaked out of other black holes in the universe. And that's theoretical physics. So when it comes down to theoretical physics, it's you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt.
There's been a lot of different proposed mechanisms for things like that. It's kind of, in a sense, physicists around the world throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
So time is one of those enigmas that we definitely don't fully understand. Even though we have a very good understanding of the combination that is space-time, but time on its own.
I think it's just it just takes some time.
Enigmatic.
Like little go, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be.
But you have to have it, though. You have to have time. That's
Yeah.
crazy for existence, for literal existence, because everything that we know, down to like matter being energy at a slow vibration, or even like the quantum description of everything being oscillations of a wave function, all of those descriptions involve changes of states, which requires time. So the very idea of existence has to have time.
Yep. Yeah, well, now we're getting to how did the universe come to be, and
boy,
why is there something rather than nothing? Right?
You know, I actually really like the theory that I keep hearing lately, which is basically just that black holes lead to white holes, which are births of universes. To me, it's like the absolute simplest explanation, that a black hole basically pours out somewhere else and into the non-nothingness and creates a universe.
Yeah,
I agree. That's
like basically what I was going on with the time idea that I was going with, is that our entire universe is actually just the spillage of another black hole, of another universe's black hole.
Sure.
Let me see.
I like that. I think it's interesting. Isn't that? I don't know if any Marvel MCU fans. I haven't actually seen the Fantastic Four movie, but isn't there something about that, like with all the multiversal stuff?
Yeah,
I know they approach a black hole at some point when they're like fighting off the Silver Surfer lady.
Well, he uses a black hole quite a few times in the movie. Like he's mastered like space-time manipulation essentially through technology.
The what we're referring to there, effigy, is a hypothesis proposed by a physicist called Lee Smolin. He called it the fecund universes, or cosmological natural selection, where every time a black hole is formed, on the other side of the hole is a new Big Bang and a new universe.
Yeah.
And the idea goes that if the laws of physics can change slightly every time a new black hole is formed and a new universe comes from that black hole, then a kind of cosmological natural selection can occur, where universes that are better at creating black holes also happen to be better at creating stars, which happen to be better at creating planets, which happen to be better at creating us.
Oh, nice. I didn't even think about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Basically us being here is more than a mistake than just, average scientists tell you about. So I was watching a piece the other day that was referring, and I've never ever thought of antimatter like this before. Antimatter actually is possibly why we're here. The antimatter it mixed with matter and created light, which then let the universe disperse its original heat until it reached an equilibrium where it could no longer create antimatter, and that put us in a place to where we are now. Basically there's no antimatter anywhere. Mm-hmm. And if any antimatter does end up existing in our universe, our entire universe will basically turn to nothing but light. There will be no matter, because all of the antimatter will exchange in place for the matter. And basically, once I got done, so I also read the study that it was on Brian Cox. When I also read the study that he was putting with it, and essentially, this is the scary thing: we are tools. We are tools of our universe to help cool our universe and bring it to a state of equilibrium.
Yeah, that is the second law of thermodynamics, which states that entropy will always increase.
Yep.
And so by cooling, that's actually referring to is this thing called entropy, which is always increasing. And the more entropy the universe has, basically the less interesting things it can do.
Yeah, the more stable it becomes, and ends up just being a big gray, opaque.
Ball
of light.
I'm going to interject briefly. I'm going to be closing down in about 5 minutes. So if you want to go around and give some closing statements about everything, here. I will allow that. I know we just kind of went pretty deep. I find it fascinating. I've been like only honestly like half listening. I've just been reading my chat, but I do find these conversations like interesting. I like consume a lot of content about like this kind of theoretical physics stuff. So I do understand some of the words you guys are using to be clear. But
you have to be
I
a
appreciate y'all
be a
coming
bit
on.
of a geek to dive into it, if you know what I mean.
No, and I am a geek. I'm like a slightly different kind of geek, I guess. You know, like my nerddom like dives me in different rabbit holes, but certainly related rabbit holes.
I got my university degree before all of this like science communication YouTube channels really exploded. So after I got my degree, I've watched so many YouTube videos on physics and theoretical physics and a whole bunch of hypothetical stuff. And yeah, I've spent I don't know how many hundreds of hours listening and watching this stuff. It's all very fascinating. And yeah, I definitely one day I want to like become like a PhD physicist, proper physicist.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wish you the best in that. Is there Zeus?
Well, I really don't have much to say, as always. You know, don't be shoot, I forget. Anyway, bye.
Good advice, I think. Ambiguity, any final words?
Yeah, science is awesome. Everyone should read up on science. It's just really cool, and everything we learn makes the universe even cooler. The universe is more magical and fantastic than any storybook can tell, or any religion can try to convey. So let's learn about the real world.
Love that attitude.
Thanks for having me up.
All right, guys. Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here, all of you. I'm gonna kick you all off and talk to my chat for a couple minutes, but appreciate it. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
All right. You got it. Final words, chat. Final words. Thank you all for being here. This is fun. Again, I wanted to. I'm just trying to do like something where I just go live. We don't have like a strict plan in mind. Don't always have like specific content I'm going to focus on. Just trying to build that habit. So expect more of these in the near future whenever I feel up to it. I got to lean into this more. This is fun. It was fun having people on. It was fun chatting with all you guys. There's definitely a lot more stuff we can do. We'll probably do like some more. I think I want to host some like more. I want to host more panels. I think I got to lean into it a bit. I don't know. I think maybe I have a bit of like main character syndrome. That's why I don't want to. But I can always just give my input during the panels. Like there's no rule against that, right? I don't have to be this unbiased mod. I can be a completely biased mod who just knows how to facilitate conversations well. But yeah, thanks again, Oxcat, Kissy Cat, for the 5 gifted Radical Coder memberships. Super cool, super awesome, giving people access to these absolutely amazing emotes that we have. They're so cute. We love them. Very adorable. Duck is singing about how there's a hole in the bottom of the sea. Fuzzy missed the stream, but it's okay. It's okay. There will be more. Appreciate you always, Fuzzy. I should have posted it. I didn't post in Discord or anything. Sometimes I just like to see like what the organic reach is without any sort of posting. But if I imagine like we would have had a lot more people here if I just posted in all the Discords that I'm in, like, hey, I'm going live. So I think next time I'll try to make a note to do that before. Yes, thank you, Fuzzy. No worries, Nikoti. Good to have you here. I'm going to send you guys all over to, I think, Spyro, who is the kind of a bit of a Crucible disciple, but a programmer who I've been having a lot of good conversations with about AI. He has a more anti-AI position, but he's a nice dude. We have some good faith conversations. I appreciate him. And he apparently, his title says he's unemployed right now. So I relate to that. I understand how that feels. It sucks. and he's doing some indie game coding until he finds work. And I encourage you all to go over there and support him. Tell him learning is radical. That's what you're going to say in the chat. Learning is radical. We're going to spam his chat with learning is radical when you get over there. Obama. That's true. That's true. Umbreon, you want to say bye to everybody? Come here. Umbreon says good night. Only Mr. Bill says does not have to be a debate, can just be conversation. Yeah, for sure. Facilitate. Yeah, I want to avoid. I'm not a leftist authoritarian personally, so I want to facilitate people against that position. I would kind of punch left in that regard. It's nice that you can't get kicked off your own panel. Not right now. I know Flo has a system where he allows for that. So maybe in the future I will allow for that. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I think part of the streaming thing is I get to reach out to because I want to lean into the freelance stuff. Realistically, I think that's going to be my path moving forward. And so I think that this is kind of my way of doing that, is getting like doing streaming really gives me access to a whole different dimension of possible like opportunities. And I kind of find that really exciting. And there's also a lot of people who want to learn stuff that I'm really good at teaching. So I think there's a lot of opportunities there as well. But yeah, good night, Umbi. Yes, he's so floofy. Such a good boy. Let's flood Ryan's chat so he's forced to stay streaming Force Doctrine and stuff. Oh no. You can't do this to me. I won't allow it. I will put my foot. I will use my own Force Doctrine to push you all over to the Spyro raid. In fact, I'm going to end the stream. But don't forget to drink water. Learning is radical. Again, when you get over to Spyro's stream, tell him in the chat, learning is radical. Tell him Umbreon sent you. Umbreon and Ryan say learning is radical. Never forget it. Actually, on the Force Doctrine thing, remind me, there's a content creator who reached out to me recently, Def Not, who has been making some really good coverage of Andrew Wilson's Force Doctrine, and we might like watch one of her videos next time, because I think I watched one of them and it was really good. So I want to go back and explore some of that series. Anyway, watch the replay. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, go give Spyro some love. Tell him AI is awesome. Tell him learning is radical, and tell him that Radical Coder sent you. All right. Thank you all. Stay safe.